When the Strictly glitter ball was lifted, nobody expected what happened next. A footballer who joined the show to fix herself just made history, while a West End star who had only 6 hours to learn her first routine faced backlash that would break most people. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, two legends were saying goodbye forever, and one professional dancer couldn't hold back his tears. This isn't just about who won. This is about what really went down in the most dramatic Strictly finale ever. Carney walked into that ballroom carrying more than just her dance shoes. The former lioness had spent years dealing with vicious online trolls who tore her apart after her football career. She admitted something heartbreaking in a press conference that made even hardened journalists emotional. She said Strictly was supposed to fix her, help her find herself again, and build back the confidence that internet hate had completely destroyed. Every Saturday night, she used to sit on her couch watching Strictly, escaping from the darkness that surrounded her life. She knew that if she ever got the chance to be on that show, it would be her safe space to heal. And she was right. Throughout the competition, Karen smiled like she had never smiled before, dancing with a joy that radiated through the screen. But her partner Carlos, he could barely keep it together during that final press conference. When asked about their journey, Carlos broke down, unable to find words. He later managed to say that seeing Karen's courage and watching her transform week after week was beyond anything technique could measure. They weren't just dance partners, they became something deeper, a team that represented hope and redemption.
But wait, let's rewind to how this season even started, because that's where the real drama began. Dani Dyer was originally supposed to compete. The Love Island winner had appeared in the launch show, met her partner Nikita Kuzmin, and seemed ready to take on the challenge. Then disaster struck. During rehearsals, Dani took a fall and initially thought she had just rolled her ankle. Over the weekend, the swelling got worse. An MRI scan revealed the devastating truth. She had fractured her ankle. Doctors told her that attempting a quick step on a broken ankle was absolutely not advisable, and she had no choice but to withdraw from the competition. Dani posted a tearful video saying she was heartbroken and hadn't felt that devastated in years. She needed time away from social media to process what felt like a dream being ripped away. The BBC had a massive problem. They needed a replacement, and they needed one fast. The first live show was happening in just 48 hours. Enter Amber Davies, another Love Island winner, but one with serious theatrical credentials. Amber had built a career on the West End, starring in productions like Pretty Woman, Back to the Future, and The Great Gatsby. She even landed the lead role in Legally Blonde, the musical, set to tour next year. When the BBC called, Amber later said it had been the craziest 24 hours of her life. A friend revealed that Amber is such a massive Strictly fan, she couldn't say no, even with almost no time to prepare. The criteria for Dani's replacement was specific. It had to be a Love Island contestant, and it had to be someone who could learn a routine overnight. Amber had just 6 hours to master her first dance. Not 6 weeks like everyone else, 6 hours. Her legs were shaking during that performance, even though viewers couldn't see it. She picked up 27 points for a waltz she barely had time to rehearse. Amber was already proving herself under the most intense pressure imaginable.
But that's when things got ugly. As the weeks went on and Amber kept advancing, the backlash started. Social media exploded with accusations that her West End background gave her an unfair advantage. People claimed she didn't deserve her spot because she had dance training. The hate got so intense that during a press conference before the final, Amber finally addressed it. She said she felt like viewers were deliberately refusing to warm to her. She insisted she had worked just as hard as the other finalists, despite only having that tiny window to prepare at the start. Amber had also competed on Dancing on Ice the previous year, scoring a perfect 40 before being eliminated in the semifinals, which only fueled the criticism. But here's what people weren't considering. Yes, Amber had stage experience, but ballroom and Latin techniques are completely different from anything she'd done before. Plus, she came in at a disadvantage, joining late and under immense pressure. The trolling didn't stop, though. Multiple reports emerged about cruel comments flooding her social media. During an appearance on It Takes Two earlier in the week before the final, Amber broke down in tears talking about her journey. She said she felt so grateful for the opportunity, but admitted the negativity had taken its toll. Still, she made it to the final three, standing alongside Carney and social media star George Clarke. George Clarke, by the way, wasn't your typical celebrity contestant. He's an internet sensation, a YouTuber who built a following through his online content. George represented a new generation of stars, proving that traditional celebrity status isn't the only path to the Strictly stage anymore. Throughout the competition, George impressed with his dedication and natural performance ability. He and his partner Alexis Ward developed routines that consistently landed them high on the leaderboard. Betting odds just hours before the final dealt George what some called a crushing blow, as predictions shifted in Karen's favor. But George kept his head up, ready to give the final everything he had. The interesting thing about this year's competition was how viewers seemed to turn against contestants with significant dance experience. Former Emmerdale actor Lewis Cope, who had been a Got to Dance runner-up years earlier, was considered a frontrunner throughout most of the series. Then came the quarterfinals. In what many called the most shocking elimination of the season, Lewis found himself in the dance-off against Amber. The judges chose to save Amber, sending Lewis home despite his consistently high scores. Fans had apparently grown tired of seeing trained performers dominate, and they started backing the underdogs instead. This shift in audience sentiment made the final even more unpredictable. Karen, despite her incredible performances, wasn't someone with a performing background like Amber or dance training like Lewis had. She was a footballer learning something completely outside her comfort zone. George was similar, coming from online content creation rather than traditional entertainment. The audience seemed to rally behind authenticity over polish, emotional connection over technical perfection. And that's exactly what made this finale so gripping. Each of the three finalists had to perform 3 dances in the final. The scores were incredibly tight. Karen and Carlos performed an Argentine tango that earned them a perfect 40, their first dance of the night setting an impossibly high bar. Amber and Nikita opened with a paso doble that scored 39, with judges praising Amber's commitment and work ethic despite all the controversy. George and Alexis brought their own fire to the floor, matching the energy and passion of their competitors. The judges' scores alone showed how close this competition really was. Karen's 3 dances combined for 117 points, scoring 2 40s and a 37. George also hit 117 points total. Amber actually scored the highest overall with 118 points for her 3 performances combined. But here's the thing. Strictly isn't just about judges' scores. It never has been. The public vote is what ultimately decides the winner, and that's where everything changed. When the votes were counted and the results came in, it was Carney and Carlos Gu who lifted that glitterball trophy. The moment their names were called, Karen looked completely speechless. She couldn't even respond at first, standing there in shock as the reality sunk in. Carlos instantly became emotional, tears streaming down his face as he hugged his partner. This was his moment, too. For a professional dancer, winning the glitterball is the ultimate achievement, and doing it with someone whose journey had been so meaningful made it even more special. Karen finally found her words, saying she couldn't believe it. She thanked everyone who had supported their journey and called Carlos a wonderful gentleman. She said they were a team and she couldn't have done any of it without him. It had been the biggest privilege and honor, and she was literally lost for words. Karen had just become the first footballer ever to win Strictly Come Dancing, shattering expectations and proving that the show really is about transformation, growth, and connecting with the audience on a deeper level. Carlos added his own tribute, managing to say through his tears that he loved Karen and thanked her for being so incredible throughout the entire journey. The BBC hosts, standing there trying to keep it together themselves, congratulated the winners as confetti fell and the studio erupted in celebration. But that celebration was bittersweet for another reason. This wasn't just Karen and Carlos's final moment. It was also the final live show for hosts Tess Daly and Claudia Winkleman. Back in October, the presenting duo had shocked the entertainment world by announcing they would be leaving Strictly at the end of the 2025 series. Tess had been with the show since it launched in 2004, originally hosting alongside the legendary Bruce Forsyth. Claudia started with the weekday companion show It Takes Two, then moved to co-hosting the Sunday Results show before joining the main Saturday show when Bruce stepped down in 2014. For over a decade, Tess and Claudia had been Strictly's heart and soul, the faces millions of viewers associated with Saturday night entertainment. They made history as primetime television's first female presenting duo, a fact that shouldn't have been groundbreaking, but sadly was. Their chemistry was undeniable, their professionalism unmatched, and their love for the show genuine.
In their joint statement announcing their departure, they said they had always planned to leave together. Now felt like the right time. They called hosting Strictly an absolute dream and thanked the BBC and every single person who worked on the show, calling them the most brilliant team they would miss every day. Tess said in her personal statement that Strictly had filled her heart in ways she would never forget. She'd miss everyone so much. Claudia described Strictly as the greatest relationship of her career, saying it had been her everything since she started on It Takes Two in 2004. She recalled fond memories of Len Goodman trying to teach her what a cucaracha was, admitting she still doesn't know. She called Strictly a magical, glittery, fake-tanned train and said it had been a privilege to be even a tiny part of it. Their departure added an extra layer of emotion to an already emotional final. Earlier in the week, on It Takes Two, host Fleur East had asked if the reality of leaving had sunk in yet. Tess admitted the short answer was no. They'd been so absorbed in making the series amazing that she hadn't had time to process it. She thought it would hit her on December 20th, the night of the final, and she might get emotional. She was absolutely right. During the final episode, there were multiple tributes to Tess and Claudia. The judges took a moment to honor them, with Craig Revel Horwood saying they would miss them terribly and had loved working together for 21 years. He thanked Claudia for the dresses she'd thrown his way, and Tess for the pizza parties in her dressing room with thin crust pizza. Then came the surprise. For the first time ever, Strictly presented golden glitter ball trophies to hosts. Tess and Claudia received their own specially made glitter balls in recognition of their incredible contribution to the show. They were visibly moved, with Claudia saying she couldn't believe how lucky they were and that it had been an honor. Tess said the team was like family to them, and they'd always feel that way. Even the Queen sent a tribute message, as did TV cook Mary Berry and members of the crew. Fans of the show flooded social media with their own messages of love and gratitude. The night wasn't just about crowning a winner, it was about celebrating 2 decades of television history and saying goodbye to the women who had become synonymous with sequins, spray tans, and Saturday night magic.
As Karen and Carlos held their glitter ball high, as Tess and Claudia took their final bows, and as the audience gave standing ovations, it all came together. This season had been about second chances. Karen got her second chance at happiness and confidence after trolls tried to destroy her spirit. Amber got her second chance to compete on a dance show and prove herself despite the controversy. Carlos got his chance to win the trophy and make memories with someone who genuinely transformed through dance. Tess and Claudia got their final chance to create magic one more time before moving on to new chapters. The emotional weight of everything happening at once made this finale unforgettable. People watching at home weren't just seeing a dance competition. They were witnessing redemption arcs, personal victories, and the end of an era, all colliding in one spectacular night. Now, about that prize money everyone keeps talking about. Reports suggest the Strictly winner receives around £100,000, though the BBC has never officially confirmed this. What is known is that celebrities earn a minimum of £25,000 for participating, with increases as they advance. Supposedly, they get an extra £40,000 after week 4, And if they make it to the semifinals, another £15,000. So for Karen, making it all the way to the final and winning means she walked away with a significant amount of money on top of that iconic glitter ball trophy. But let's be real. For someone like Karen, this was never about money. She said it herself. Strictly fixed her. It gave her back something she thought she'd lost forever. That's priceless.
The question now is what happens next? Tess and Claudia will appear one more time in the pre-recorded Christmas special airing on Christmas Day, their absolute final appearance as Strictly hosts. Then, the BBC has to figure out who could possibly fill those shoes. Names being thrown around include former It Takes Two hosts Jeanette Manrara and Fleur East, who currently present the weekday show. Ryland Clark, another former It Takes Two host, is also in the conversation. Other possibilities include Alan Carr, Zoe Ball, Angela Scanlon, and Bradley Walsh. Whoever takes over has an impossible task ahead. Following Tess and Claudia isn't just about presenting a show, it's about understanding what Strictly means to millions of people and respecting the legacy that's been built over 20 years. For Karen and Carlos, life after winning will bring new opportunities. Karen has already proven she's more than just a footballer. She's a performer, a fighter, and an inspiration. Carlos has shown he's not just a talented dancer, but someone with genuine emotional depth who connects with his partners on a profound level. Their win will be remembered as one of the most meaningful in Strictly history. Amber Davies will continue her West End career, taking on the role of Elle Woods in Legally Blonde, the musical. Despite the criticism and trolling she faced, she proved her resilience by making it all the way to the final under the most challenging circumstances imaginable. She handled the pressure with grace, and her talent speaks for itself. George Clarke will return to his online content creation, no doubt bringing his Strictly experience to his YouTube channel and sharing behind-the-scenes stories with his followers. He represented a new kind of celebrity on Strictly and paved the way for more digital creators to potentially join future series. The 2025 series of Strictly Come Dancing will go down in history books for multiple reasons. It was the year a footballer won for the first time. It was the year a contestant joined with only 6 hours to prepare and made it to the final. It was the year viewers rejected perfection in favor of authenticity and emotional connection. And it was the year Tess and Claudia said their final goodbyes, leaving behind a legacy that will be nearly impossible to match.
As the confetti settled and the cameras stopped rolling, everyone involved knew they'd been part of something truly special. The judges, the professional dancers, the celebrities, the crew, and the millions watching at home all shared in a moment that transcended entertainment. This was television at its finest, real people going through real journeys, supported by a production that understands the power of storytelling and emotional truth. Carney lifting that glitter ball wasn't just a win, it was a statement. It said that Strictly Come Dancing is still about transformation, still about giving people a platform to discover parts of themselves they didn't know existed, and still about creating moments that matter. That's why millions of people tune in every Saturday night. That's why the show has lasted for over 2 decades. And that's why even without Tess and Claudia moving forward, Strictly will continue to be one of the most beloved programs on British television. The 2025 finale delivered everything fans could have hoped for. Drama, emotion, stunning performances, historical moments, and genuine human connection. What more could anyone ask for from a dance competition?